You may have noticed that I've really been getting into weird, forgotten, and obscure JDM cars lately, and this trend may very well continue in this video. So I've always had a thing for small but useful vehicles, and what I just imported fits that to a T. I bid on this boxy, tall, adorable Kei car a couple months back. Somehow I won it, and it's just arrived at the port. So let's go pick it up and bring it back here so it can join its new JDM friends. So here it is, my new to me 1999 Mitsubishi Toppo BJ. Apparently it stands for Big Joy. Okay then. All right, so before we talk about the Toppo and its history, let's talk a little bit about Kei cars. So Kei cars are Japan's ultra-compact vehicles that are built to fit strict government size and engine limits. So they're usually very small, lightweight, and engines capped at around 660 cc's. But these tiny little vehicles punch well above their weight in terms of usefulness and charm. They're designed for narrow city streets, tight parking. These cars often have better fuel economy and have surprisingly large interior space thanks to clever packaging. So the first gen Toppo was called the Minica Toppo, based on the, you guessed it, Mitsubishi Minica platform, and that ran from 1990 to 1993. So the second gen was basically a heavily facelifted version of the first gen, and that ran from 93 to 98. And what I have right here is a 99, which is the third gen that ran from 98 to 2004. And there was also a fourth gen that shared some of the same body panels, and that ran from 08 to 2013.
Toppo BJ お前に必要なものは翼じゃエアロじゃ翼を持ったもう一つのトッポよくぞここまでトッポ BJ エアロ発進
All right, so about the name. So Toppo is weird in and of itself. Apparently it's a portmanteau of the English word top and the Japanese word nappo, or lanky. And BJ stands for Big Joy. So Mitsubishi called the third gen Toppo BJ a member of their quote, big small mini car series. They said it had an airy, light and comfortable interior realized by a high roof that encourages communication between occupants. I guess in a car with a shorter roof, you don't want to talk to each other? But I don't know, sometimes I don't understand marketing. They also said that it has outstanding maneuverability. We'll check that out when we drive it. If we do drive it, I don't know if you've seen the tires on this thing yet. They're a little bit dry rotted. I don't know if I'm gonna be driving it a whole lot just yet. They said that the packaging exploited its tall boy stance, not that kind of tall boy, but this kind of tall boy, and that it provides extremely good visibility, which I'm pretty sure it does. We'll check that out when we sit inside. Okay, so let's do a little walk around of this super cute tall boy Kei car. Let's just get one thing out of the way first. I didn't exactly buy the cleanest example. It's got a lot of grunge and grime that needs to come off. So I'm gonna detail this at some point. So it should look a whole lot better than this when it's cleaned up. With that out of the way, let's focus on the adorable nature of this vehicle. I think we need to start right here with this up front. Yes, this vehicle is turbocharged and intercooled. We'll talk about the engine in just a bit. Got that scoop on the hood right there. Got some asymmetry going on down here. This is where the license plate would go to cover up this big gaping hole, so it doesn't look that bad when the license plate's on it. Fog lights, which is kind of cool on a vehicle like this. It actually looks pretty sporty with the ground effects down here. This is the only thing that I was a little bit bummed about that I didn't notice in the pictures when I was buying it. A little bit of a crack in the grille right there. I'm gonna see if maybe I can learn how to do some plastic welding, or maybe just try to find one of these grills and import it from Japan. But yeah, I really dig this. It's pretty funky, it's pretty sporty, it's pretty adorable. And check this out, it's just sort of like compare the greenhouse to the rest of the car. There is just so much room in there compared to the exterior dimensions of the vehicle. It's just incredibly good packaging. Way better than nearly all SUVs and crossovers. All right, moving on to the side, it's sort of like a mini Scion XB, except for maybe cooler? And look at this ridiculous wing on the back. This is just fantastic. I don't even know what else to call it. It's just amazing. Also kind of silly, but I love it. Ground effects, very similar to my Scion XB. Also very big doors, open very wide to get inside. Little tiny window back here, turn signal markers on the side. Overall, just a really cool minivan-like profile on the side here. All right, let's talk about the tires because these are a disaster. Now, these are just completely dry rotted. It looks like they're from 2015, so yeah, these need to be replaced. I think I could maybe drive like 2 minutes on them before they kind of disintegrate into a billion pieces. Now, I've imported a few cars from Japan now, and every single one except for the Nissan Escargot needed new tires. They were all in terrible condition, so I don't know if the cars sit a long time before they're put up for auction and then make their way here, but the tires are always an issue. Wheels are in decent shape. Now, these are 14-inch wheels, actually. So these tires, 165, 55, 14. I don't think it should be too hard to find this size. We'll have to see. I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna need tires like pronto. There's actually not that much rust on the brakes, which is kind of surprising. Generally speaking, I'm only interested in cars from Japan if there's very little rust. There's only just a tiny bit of surface rust on the underneath. But yeah, if it's got any holes or anything like that, I'm not interested. I tend to not have a huge budget for cars that I'm importing, so this one is a little bit dirty, needs a little bit of cleanup. All right, let's move on to the back. Oh, I love it. I just love it. Look at this crazy little body kit piece right here. That's just silly. I love the angle on these taillights. That's pretty neat. A little bit of paint touch-up I'll need to do, and yeah, it's a little bit dirty. Needs a new Mitsubishi sticker. I'll see if I can get one of those and replace that. It's got a rear wiper that looks like it needs to be replaced. And check this out. The door in the back actually opens sideways, which is pretty cool. We'll talk about the interior space in just a bit. Now you'll see these struts right here, and apparently this glass opens out, so you can actually like lift this up and put stuff in there, but I can't get it to open, and maybe I'm dumb, but I don't know if I'm missing something. Is there like a lock here that I'm missing? But I cannot get the glass to unlatch. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research to figure out what's going on here. If anybody else has a Mitsubishi Toppo BJ with the glass that's supposed to open back here, let me know what I'm missing. I feel like I'm just doing something stupid, and I don't have the owner's manual for this car, and everything I've found online so far hasn't mentioned this. I have to do a little bit more translating to figure that out. So the joys of importing vehicles that you know nothing about. I think we need to check out the interior of this car, so let's go do that. All right, sitting inside my 1999 Mitsubishi Toppo BJ. First impression, tons of space in here. This is just kind of like a smaller version of my Scion XB. I know I keep saying that, but it's the same idea. Just incredibly good use of space. All right, the other thing that I love is the fabric. This is sort of like a quasi-Pasha kind of thing. It sort of has Porsche vibes a little bit, but not quite. I feel like 1999 was sort of the tail end of the funky fabrics that you'd find in cars, but Japan seemed to hold on to that a little bit longer than we did here in the States. I think by the late 90s and early 2000s, we were just getting boring grays and blacks. They still had some fun going on in here. Even the floor mats are pretty ridiculous. But right in front of the driver, it's a pretty standard looking steering wheel, nothing too interesting about that. Same thing with the gauges, pretty plain but functional. We have sort of a two-tone thing going on here with a kind of gray and black on the dashboard. That's not that fancy or unique, but it's very clean, very functional. Check this out up here. You have a space to put some stuff, little ledge up there at the top as well. Pretty big glove box, and actually underneath the glove box there's a little tray, so that's pretty useful. Good use of space. Right here, here's a little drawer. What does it say on the front? It says free box. I guess you're free to put anything you'd like in this box. Cup holders, that's kind of nice. A lot of my cars don't have cup holders. Pretty straightforward HVAC controls. You actually push the center dial for air conditioning, which that's kind of interesting. That's a UI that I've never seen before. Straightforward vents. You got an aftermarket stereo here. Actually, is this aftermarket? It looks like it, but it says Mitsubishi, so I'm actually not sure. It doesn't look factory, but it does say Mitsubishi. Comfort level is very good. You know, I'm 6'3". I have more than enough headroom. You could have somebody that's much taller than me in here. I mean, the legroom is pretty good too. It's not amazing, but it's pretty decent. These cars are just packaged so well. It's just so much better than all the crossover slop that we get subjected to here in the United States. We've got the gear selector for our manual transmission right here. Check out the door panels, got that cool fabric there as well. All right, we have to talk about this space right up here. We've got a couple lights, but right back here, we've got not one, not two, but 3 spaces to store stuff. So if you have 2 pairs of sunglasses, right here, you can store like, I don't know, cards. It says card right there. So I guess if you had like credit cards or your driver's license or I don't know. But yeah, just a really unique way to deal with storage up there. So this being a Kei car, it is very narrow. So you're gonna be right next to your passenger. Might have to have them move their knee over a little bit when you're shifting. All right, let's check out the back seat. All right, so incredibly spacious back here as well. I have my front seat set for myself at 6'3", and even then I can fit here, no problem. Now you wouldn't want to fit 3 back here. In fact, you can't. Kei Cars are limited to 4 passengers, but yeah, fitting 2 back here is gonna be, you're gonna be riding around in luxury. I guess maybe not luxury, I bet the ride quality is not the greatest, but no problem fitting back here. And just looking towards the front of the vehicle, I'm like, this thing is just gargantuan. Car companies don't have any idea what the f they're doing nowadays. They gotta make shit like this. Anyway, we got more of that awesome fabric on the seats and on the door panels. Yeah, I love it. Oh, the other cool thing is these seats do fold down, and the front seats actually fold down too. So if you wanted to sleep in here, you probably could. It's not exactly flat, but it could work in a pinch. All right, let's check out the cargo area. All right, so as I mentioned, this swings out, which is pretty useful. Now, just like my Scion, not loads of space back here, but it's enough to throw a bag or two, a little pocket over here to throw some more stuff. There is a spare tire, though it looks a little bit dirty under there. I have to clean that up as well. Oh, and this is pretty neat. These seats also recline, which is pretty nice if you're in the back seat and you want to mellow out a little bit. All right, let's talk about what's under the hood. Where is it? There it is. So if you know anything about Kei Cars in Japan, the engine displacement needs to be 660 cc's or less. So as you might have guessed, we don't have a huge motor under this hood. So there were a few engines. The base was a 657cc inline 3-cylinder, and that made a whopping 50 horsepower and about 45.5 pound-feet of torque. But I have the high-performance 659cc 4A30 turbocharged and intercooled 4-cylinder. And this one makes a huge, tremendously large 63 horsepower and 74 pound-feet of torque. But when you keep in mind that this thing only weighs like 1,800 and 1,900 pounds, it's actually plenty of power. There was also a Toppo BJ wide with a 1.1 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, and that made 73 horsepower. It also had wider fenders, but it actually wasn't any bigger on the inside, so don't really know why they did it, but that one didn't qualify as a Kei Car. So as I mentioned, mine has a 5-speed manual transmission, but an auto was also available. All-wheel drive was also available, but mine is 2-wheel drive. All right, so let's go and drive this thing. But as I mentioned, I'm not gonna go very far because these tires, I don't think they're gonna last more than a few minutes. So let's just go up and down my street a couple times and see if I can make it back home. All right, let's go. All right, I'm not sure if it's even gonna start because the battery has not been that friendly to me. Let's see, I did bring a jump pack in case I need it, in case I get stranded. Let's see, will it start? Nice. Thing sounds like a little truck. It's kind of interesting. All right, just up and down the street a couple times. I don't want to be a fool with 4 flat tires. It's actually got kind of a lot of power. Oh, I can already feel the tires. Yeah, did I already get a flat? I think so. I think so. I've been driving it for about like 2 seconds. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. I think I got a flat already. All right, I'm gonna turn around and go home. Anywho, I got to check out the insane power out of this turbocharged intercooled 4-cylinder. Sounds pretty good, but yeah, I gotta deal with these tires first. This is a really bad idea. Anyway, I can already tell I'm gonna like driving this thing, although I can't really tell if there's any other issues with it because of those tires. Yeah, let's get this thing back. They're not flat. It's just they're so like misshapen and it's a bad idea. Anyway, let's wait till I get some new tires. But yeah, it seems like the engine's running fine. No issues there, it makes good power. It's not overheating. Didn't really get to test out the handling. We'll have to do that at another video. So yeah, I'll have other videos with this vehicle coming soon where I deal with some of those things. All right, so no, I didn't need another car in my fleet, but how could you pass up this cute thing? So yeah, it desperately needs tires and it needs to be thoroughly detailed and cleaned up, but other than that, it's in pretty good shape. Obviously somebody used it, but they took really good care of it and they didn't really drive it all that much. So I'm excited that this tall boy gets to join my fleet. I'm looking forward to seeing how fast this thing goes on the freeway. I'm guessing maybe 65 miles per hour. I'm looking forward to taking it on Angeles Crest Highway to get passed by everybody. But yeah, I'm really excited about this silly little tall box. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. If you'd like to help support the show, please buy a Hello Road t-shirt or hat at helloroad.tv/shop. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're well, and I'll see you soon.
アラジンはピンチだったなんとかせお願い任せ10代よりニュートッポ BJ 遊べる使える楽しめる楽しさでめでたしめでたし三菱といい車お得なトッポ BJS